Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Jack Dempsey, American writer and historian. And with me today is, well, you see my privilege of speaking with the wonderful poet, Ms. Nina Olff. This is our second program together because she is going to be publishing before too long a new book. The first one was called Ghost Dances, and you can find a reading and discussion of that with Nina here on YouTube. And this new one is called Open Hearts. And I promise you a real treat of English language today, such as you don't find. It's Tuesday, August 12th. And hello, Nina.
Hi. I
And
would just
you're,
want to say my first was American Heritage, Many Tribes, Many Nations.
that's right. And that'll come out in I have a little biographical statement about you, Nina. Would I open the program by sharing some basic facts about you?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. Born in Manhattan, Nina Lydia Olff grew up in Brooklyn's Brownsville during the 1960s, traveling often between New York City and the family farm in upstate New York. And she wrote her first poem at age 8. She has published poems in books and journals and a book of poetry, as she said, called American Heritage, Many Tribes, Many Nations by Sea Venture Press, 2016. Nina's influences include Black Rodeo, Native American powwows. Her teachers have included the Mohawk Skywalkers, who hung out with her dad, and her Jewish mother, who was active in civil rights. Nina's grandfather, who was a strong influence on the family farm, excuse me, yes, I skipped a line. Nina's grandfather from Suriname and married to her Black Indian grandmother was a strong influence on the family farm, as was her New York City Jewish Bohemian grandmother. Now living in Massachusetts for the past 25 years, Nina is also a multi-ethnic visual artist, researcher, curriculum advisor, and educator who enjoys her time with her grandson. So again, welcome, Nina, and anything you'd like to say right off to our guests?
I've actually been in Massachusetts for at least 40 years, but I'm still a New Yorker at heart. I feel like I don't belong here.
Ah,
Um, yeah, so I just wanted to clarify. Um, but that's it really. You know, my Jewish grandma was the secular bohemian hippie who really she turned me on to books too early on. Her house was filled with books. So I had a really great start in life in terms of variety.
and just a quick biographical note. Did you have favorite writers when you were a child or young adult? Or who were your guiding stars in the world of great literature?
Well, the first poetry book that I really remember was 12 Poets. So they were like the one that stands out in my mind is Alexander Pope. Later I read Blake, Yeats, I read Sylvia Plath, I read Sexton, Natsaki Shangi. I mean, I've probably read like 200 poets that really influenced me. Too many
Well,
to name. Too
yeah.
many. I mean, and I loved Alexander Poe because of his, as I said in our earlier interview, the musicality really worked for me, especially his poem, The Bells, which I can't recite. I don't remember. I used to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Nina and I were doing our homework and she chose out some poems to share with you today. The first one she wants to share is called
Whoops.
Brown Jewish Haudenosaunee Rage from her book Ghost Dances. And I hope you'll sit back and enjoy, and we'll talk
Oh,
about these works as we go forward. It's all yours, Nina.
okay. The title is This is Brown Jewish Haudenosaunee Rage. This is
Okay.
brown Jewish Haudenosaunee rage coming at you fast from the heart fist, from the eye of the tongue, with a head spinning like an owl's, 360 degrees bull coming at me, filling me up, displacing my blood and water, so that they have no room to move, to translate, mutate protein into nourishment. My mitochondria scream at a pitch only dogs can hear. The whistle, the steam pouring out that would otherwise mushroom into a pile of thermite dust and stay molten like lava for months, burrowing underground for those who cannot fathom who is behind this destruction. This is rage forged by the heat of American conquests, trees of life turned into punishing pillars, memories of bodies hanging from live oaks, ornaments, a ritualized whitening from the old boys in the hoods. This rage has my feet stomp in defiance of their male god. I spit at their marching songs. I shout into the wide world, no more hurt children, and freezing women dying in the daylight as they walk. Again and again in the sky, the lightning strikes as loud as thunder, kettle drums and bata, smoke signals coming from my breath, warning the people of the dominators and their ilk. American eyes are fatal to the needs of the living. Forests burnt offerings to the gods of harp. That's an acronym, HARP. Berry to berry, frog to frog, the soil rot has a foul stench that does not come from compost or cow manure or the garden full of our mother's medicines. No, this smell is vile, like the predator class that manages militias and shakes tectonic plates with technological gadgets. This is hell coming at us. Robotic dogs, aluminum nanoparticulate, more nukes as garbage orbits the space along with satellites, each breaking another hole in the ozone. Don't listen to their lies. The Meteorological Society and these weathermen are not the Eagle Scouts or hunters. Their swords are blasting heat. Guns that shock and awe you into a stroke, torture, and everlasting PTSD. This is no time for nature. There is no time for nature in this kingdom. This rage is absorbed in the lungs like invisible light. This rage is the sum total of human theocracy. And then I have the abbreviation HARP is High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program by DARPA.
Yes.
I may have rushed that a little bit, but I hadn't read it in a while, so apologies for my reading.
Well, with the title, Nina, it seems as though this speaking is coming from all your different ethnic backgrounds, all the different parents and spiritual leaders that you've had. Can you talk about that?
Well, yeah, it's just from, my family is ethnically, culturally, linguistically diverse from all parts of the world, so to speak, and so it ends up being my connection to humanity is mostly spiritual, or I would say that my religion is Mother Earth and human rights. That's my religion.
And those are things that all your influences, the Jewish, the brown skin, the Haudenosaunee, your influences and teachers would also have been filled with this feeling of rage against where we are today, it sounds like.
Yes.
So it's like you've got a couple of great big arms in which you're embracing all of them, and this is what they are speaking to you, Nina?
Yes, it's my inheritance.
Yes.
And so I'd like to read a poem from my new manuscript that's not finished, but I'm working in the process. It's called Being Part Wolf.
This is a good one, and it's a long one. So, ladies and gentlemen, kick back and listen to this quite amazing language. Nina writes in multiple dimensions at once. So just let your rational mind ease off a little bit and imagine what it's like to be this being that she's going to speak about. Thank you, Nina.
Okay. Okay. Being Part Wolf, 1. Children arrive eating 2 canvases with 1 eye, walking on tiptoe, toe heel, long views of a new moon and a waterfall, sunshine sparkling through the atmosphere, Antiora, land in the sky, Algonquin ways, knowing the words that come from a back room in the eye. I have the heart of a wolf, walking on tiptoe, toe heel, toe heel. There are a few left who speak our language, who remember the past, who can recall the blue sky behind the streaked, milky, silvery haze. The sun gave us our brown skin and we danced with mammal power. My body is a solar panel for energy gathering. My wrinkles come from a life spent in the elements. There is almost no one left who speaks the language, who remembers the past, who can see the mammal. Look me in the eye. My greenish amber eyes are brown, holding a long trance that turns you inside out. Millions of years and ideas about men and beasts pass us by. Your history is not a mirage. I love your thick tail and thick coat, layers of fur through my fingers, your tongue licking my face, smelling me as I sniff you. Your ears are down and back. You are in a roll on the ground, me with you in a place between the forest and the lake. Don't disappear. You belong here. Stay. Don't let them kill you. Last night, a large black bear came too close. I was on West Ohio Mountain Road in Bearsville, New York. Walking alone in deep snow, there was only the sound of my footprints crushing snow. I was thinking of place names, the indigenous in this occupied terrain. Remember, these are magic thoughts like the sonogram, a sound signal of frequency, time, and intensity. The word apple is one poem. The curled leaf leaving the branch rises and falls in a minor key, if your ears are pitched this way. Sea mammals below make no distinction between the cries of distant stars and light, forced to explode, entering and leaving the galaxy. There is little difference between waking and dream life, or dead dolphins delivered by the tide. The beach is aligned with the memory of things once living, what things were and what they will be. I have wolf eyes, and my howl resonates in my ear. I hear it, I see it. I hear the cry of a red-tailed hawk before she settles on a branch. Wings, eyesight. The hawk lifts with currents. Eternity flashes its face in the window. I stretch my neck to follow the circles of the hawk, growing wider and higher, then go back to my den to check on my pups. That's being part wolf.
Wow.
I'm still working on it. It's in process, so I was editing as I read.
Sure. Well, it's an honor to
Yeah.
be experiencing this work before you have actually as you say, finalized it. You know, something in the first two poems jumps out at me. There's an old adage from Cicero, the great Roman orator and master of public speaking and language arts. And he says that a real scholar is a person who takes their books out into the dusty sunlight, that you don't just stay in the library, that your words are, I think he might actually use the word activist. Your words so engage with where we are. You're not content with a model of poetry that's creating bric-a-brac. You're bleeding into the world and howling into the world, trying to what, Nina? What are you trying to do?
I don't know, just I when I was an adolescent, I wrote a lot of work that was inherently political and humanistic, and it was published in the junior high school yearbook. But then, I moved away and I wrote about my own pain, personal pain, late teens, 20s. But then, I moved back to beauty and relationships, and I'm 70. And I'm watching my country being Nazified and watching the horrors that the United States has committed all over the world. And I'm watching rich people take money from the poor. And I'm watching bombs falling on innocent people. And I can't cope with it. So I have to write about it. And it's always grounded in the earth, in nature, and in all our relationships. So anyway.
Well, knowing your work as I do, I see this parallel. Excuse me. I see this parallel in the one way you write very powerfully about animals and nature and what it is to be these entities, right? They're powerful. They're not laced with self-doubt. They have expressions that fit into the universe in an entirely appropriate way all the time. But it's as if your audience is people and you're asking them with those presences, where is your strength? Where is your power? Where is your being? Why are we allowing this to happen to us?
Yeah, that I don't understand. There's millions of us and only a few of them, the people who destroy. Anyway, here's another. This is more lightweight. It's called Open Hearts, and it's still in process, but I'd like to share what I have so far.
Okay.
How do you open someone's heart? How do you open someone's heart without breaking in? Looking for the mother plant, I have turned myself into wind. I am green and blue and brown and rock. I walk in the Anthropocene. Birds overhead, robins in the morning story. Yellow bones line the plains. The skulls caked in frost tell a story of an early pack of coyotes. That's that one.
I'm noticing. I'm noticing the difficult part about interviewing a poet is that what I'm doing without meaning to, but what I'm doing is, okay, you've given us these magnificent words. Now, what do they mean? I'm asking you to tell us in yet other words what you worked so hard to perfect in your expression.
You can't do that.
It's a hazard. I mean, it's like saying to a painter, what does the painting mean? And he said, if I could tell you in words, I would be a writer.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I can't do any more than present the poem as the final answer to your question.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, sure.
So I want to read an old poem that I lost a very dear friend in 2006. She was from Scotland, and I finally visited Scotland after she had gone. But anyway, the name of the poem is I Never Went to Aberdeen, written for Maureen Cooper, who left us in 2006. Sucked the sweet willow out of the log and dragged death unmercifully along a path with rocks and rosebush thorns. I hate the moon tonight and the stars that look back at me, flashes of light looking at grim winter. Such a fine lassie, rock and punk, wit and the loose tongue that rolls when a Scot sings and staggers home, full of stout along the Loch, River Clyde or Central Park. Searching for keys or brigadoons, searching for meaning and worms hidden under gemstones. Lies are never told. The knife used to cut meat can easily cut crap with a word, and a cackling laugh that comes from her pagan feet and stays with you forever. The highlands are a fortress like cast iron. Rock hills divide the shades of charcoal and green. A morning birth in Glasgow. I wasn't there, but I was. Maureen, the poor man's version of Judi Dench, and Grande Dame of the North Sea, Maggie Smith and Glenda Jackson. Saint Bridget, the grain goddess, with her hourglass figure pushing full breasts out into the open, where males can only watch in a trance as her dark hair and shiny lips hoist single malt, and then swear many times to marry the sailor. Boy, I miss her. Okay, and I have just one more poem from my newer collection, Open Hearts.
You're going awful fast, Nina. You're not giving us much chance to talk about the poems.
I should slow down reading, actually, but yeah.
Well, I don't mean that. It's just there's so much to digest in what you're communicating. I just wanted to make sure we're helping people to understand what you're after in these creations.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, the poem says it better than any other way for me. I mean, I could read it again or, more slowly, but I can't really, I mean, I miss her. I love her. She was great. And the poem says it.
There's another line in another poem of yours in this collection that I noticed that jumped out at me, is that you as a woman were and are all the other women that you have known and loved and inherited from in one way or another. And you say they're like Russian dolls, those dolls that you open and there's
All
another
right.
one and another one inside. You say,
Yeah.
in this poem, you say, I wasn't there, but I was.
Right.
It's an
Yeah.
interesting way that you conceive your own spirituality, your own soul is as big as the universe. It contains all these people and
Yeah.
places and things.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't say it any better than that. I wasn't there, but I was. It's like I inhaled you. You're part. People actually, when you sit next to someone, you actually cells rub off on each other. There is I mean, science can prove what people have known spiritually. But yeah, I don't want to spend too much time explaining it. It's just
Okay.
yeah. I just have one more poem, and this one's I'm still working on it. It's in the new Open Hearts manuscript, and it's called Carousel of Immigrants. I changed it. First it was Carousel. I don't know if I want to do Carousel of Foreigners or just Carousel. Here goes. Actors try on different people, aspects of themselves, secret dreams never realized in cross-cultural families. Houses extend to ships that carry them over different seas. The arching gulls overhead cry like children, rotate in circles, ovals, spheres, escaping gravity, then yanked back. Pelicans and cormorants break through the ocean's seam, while whales sift through plankton. Salt absorbed sunlight, and I live alone, listening for crickets. The long night is a carousel of danger, horses with flared nostrils and painted black saddles who return as they spin on their poles. Comes a storm. Organ players miss notes and hold down the wrong chords. Shipmates sing about the dead men who walked the plank and were buried in the waves. Where I come from, stars and magnets and dogs run through the street at high speeds. Every child is a world of blooming roses. Their mellifluous perfume travels everywhere. When animals became people in the misty Pliocene, days of transformation, sea creatures walked on land. Bipeds started running and dancing, and tropical valleys spread. This was a time of trees with birds and leopards all nesting on separate branches. What universe is this? I feel time closing in. Blue sparks are the voices of rain. White lilacs fade on graves. The crow is flying with thousands of starlings in a sky before the tornado drops. Frogs are bellwethers. The rock is hiding hope, buried like an army advance. Waterfalls are slowly evaporating. The earth just wobbles on its axis, shifting the sun's rays, and I am alone with angst and love.
Mhm.
I read it differently than I wrote it, so I hope that I can listen to this and make the edits.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's in progress.
Is
Still not finished with it.
the title of the collection, Nina, is Open Hearts your working
Yes.
title? Do you anticipate you'll change it, or
I
could
might
you?
change it. I might.
Well, right, but
Yeah, I don't know because yeah.
what right now do you conceive of as the idea in that? What are you writing about when you write about open hearts?
Um, I'm thinking about my age, where things are at in the world, and how to reach people to bring them, to the garden, to think about each other as not strangers or to anyone to fear. The people that we need to fear are the people at the top with all the money. The rest of us, no. It's like, that old adage, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts. We're at a very dangerous time. It's not global warming, it's climate collapse that's happening. And I venerate nature and children and the human spirit, and they all should be collectively enhanced, not
Mhm.
destroyed.
Well, then I have to say, I see you writing always on at least two levels. One is activating energies within people, but doing that by sensitizing them to language and resensitizing them to beauty. That we have to learn to think again in many dimensions at once and to stop settling for such simple lies that really just trap us and enslave us. You're teaching people how to think in old dash new ways.
Yeah, that's a good summary. Yeah. Yeah. So
Well, is that
I
any part of
realize,
your intention?
yeah, but I don't like, it's not like a conscious thing when I write. Sometimes I have to, I send too many emails about what's going on around the world and to people. I've always done that, like, the stuff that's not in the corporate news, just so people are aware of how they're being manipulated. It's a compulsion, grown out of an activist family. As I said, I'm not an activist, but I feel a tremendous empathy for other people. And, um, it's about love, really. It's about whole love. Without love, we're nothing. Without
Yeah.
love, there's nothing,
And that's
you
a
know?
mighty word for the way that we vibrate with each other when we sympathize with someone or understand their position, even if we don't like it. There's a kind
Right.
of an acceptance there that you want to speak to in other people. And I imagine that a lot of people who read your work, Nina, will find it very empowering for those reasons.
I hope so. I just want to communicate or share that. I mean, I can't even talk about it. It's like the poetry is the height of my voice or words, or I can't break it down or explain it.
Sure.
It's just, but this is still in progress. So I'm gonna listen to the interview and add those corrections that I made as I went. Because in terms of process, reading out loud, you change things. You see, whoops, it doesn't work, or skip a word,
Sure.
or repeat a word, or
Sure.
so I appreciate the chance to share my work, even the work in progress. So I thank you for interviewing me.
It's our privilege and pleasure to spend the time with you. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think your work was tremendous in both the beauty of its language and imagery, its imaginative style, and its power to motivate. And here's a quick final question, Nina. All
Yeah.
the different things in your poems that talk about the besieging of the earth, the poisoning of the earth,
Ah,
even of all the way
yeah.
up to human beings and so forth. Is it in your poetry that you most find hope and try to show it to others? Or where, if
It's a
any,
mixture.
is there hope for you?
Well, it's a mixture of stating what, I see, what I know, what I researched, what I learned and and I have to make it beautiful. And even my anger has to be beautiful. Like the rage, rage poem, that poem came out like in one. I mean, I made a few changes. It was like this, I was hypnotized and it just came out of me.
Sure.
I forget the question. I forgot the question. I got wrapped up in describing, I'm very disabled. I'm alone in my room most of the time, and I'm really desperately lonely, and I see the world going to shit, and I hate it. And I hate that I can't do anything other than share information and write poems and try to tap into what's beautiful about this world at the same time.
That's very well said, and I'm thinking that as you sit in that situation, that you reach inside yourself and you want to discover again and again and reveal again and again what is alive, what is still strong in you, and therefore
Mm.
in us. You know, you're a poet and you
Yeah.
speak as a human being. It's
Well, the
very
process, the process of writing the poetry itself, for me, is like going where I haven't gone before, as I've talked about before about the lantern. So
yes,
I don't know what's coming, but I've learned to let everything come. And, that's the stuff about having no boundaries. It's both painful as a human being, great as an artist. Everything comes. So I don't censor myself when I write. And it's like, whoa, where did that come from? It pops out. So it's coming from deep inside me, but also from people and things who I've experienced. Many, many people, all different kind of people I thought I wouldn't like, that I got to know and understand why they are the way they are. I mean, whatever. I don't keep talking.
Well, and there's
So,
a beauty in that. You're discovering the beauty of a human being, even though the external superficial things don't always rub us the right way. And a
yep.
beauty in the exercise of that discovery, that you're reaching out to try to listen and soak up that world so that you can articulate it more and understand it.
Yeah. And for an example, I had a job, my last job before I got ill 13 years ago. And I was someone who planned to work forever, go study linguistics. My mother retired at 85, supposedly. She called from Montreal and said, "Hi, how you doing? Mom, what are you doing in Montreal?" "I'm leading a tour." "I thought you retired, Mom." My mother, "I'm not getting paid." So that's my family. So my last job, I was with people, I was in a place that I found out was the opposite of my values, not the people. The people were good people being manipulated and paid to do what they do best, brilliant people, family people. But the stuff that they were doing in science was being used nefariously. But I was able to be close and learn to love people and understand how these geniuses who were in their cubicles were being paid. They all needed wives, by the way. But they were on the spectrum, a lot of people, but loving, artistic people. And that really shook me up. But it helped me understand how people are used by higher forces, and that I shouldn't judge anyone, or I can't judge anyone else. I can judge their actions, but I came to understand that they didn't even understand what their actions would be inevitably. Um, it's too hard to explain. Just to say, suffice to say, I was in a situation that there were people, the place was financed by pure evil, basically, but these were good people. And not pure evil, but it's like it's the same old story. People on the top, there's a few crazy psychotic people who are not smart. They step on people, but they use the smart people to do things, and they manipulate the rest of us. So, you can name a few, but I will not. The 3% that's torturing the rest of us in the whole world.
Well,
Um,
to me, your work, Nina, sensitizes the reader to realize more and more what's happened to us, how much we've been cut off from things, including the consequences of our beliefs. And we need to reopen our psyches again to the whole world and feel what we're doing. I'll close with a quote from
yeah.
Terence McKenna. He said, "If we could
Okay.
really feel what we're doing, we'd stop it in a second. It's like putting your hand on a hot stove. If we could
Yeah.
feel what we're doing, we would stop it immediately. But somehow we're prevented from that." So I want to thank you, Nina, very much for sharing this poetry with me, with us. And we wish you well, and we'll be looking for your new edition called Open Hearts. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, you can see another interview and a reading from Nina here at YouTube. It's called Ghost Dances, just like that old expression of the Native American ritual, ghost dances. And I really encourage you to look it up. Nina, thank you very much.
Thank you for being such a huge supporter of my work. I really appreciate that you can see me and understand me and value my work. Thank you, Jack.
No problem. Thank you. And it's my pleasure. Okay, we stopped recording.
Ah,
Anything you'd like to add before
okay.
we
Oof.
lose our time?
Oh yeah, no. I want to make all the corrections that I read in the poems. I changed things, so I'll listen to it when it's available. I left some things out, I repeated some things, I changed some things.
Okay.
Um,
It should be
yeah,
getting to you.
and
I'll send you the link probably by tomorrow at the latest.
okay, that's great. And this really, you know what, mostly what this does is it encourages me to write more for me.
Well, I
You're
hope
like my
so.
biggest fan, my biggest fan, you know. So
I'll
it's
take
great.
it.
It's a shot of adrenaline. So which I, you know,
I'm delighted to
two
be part of it.
things. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be
So
in touch very soon and thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Have a great evening. It's your
Yeah.
evening. Yes.
And you two
Enjoy
have a great day.
Greek olive oil is my favorite, by the way. Aria.
It's the best.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I could just have olive oil and bread. Anyway,
Me too.
good idea. Yeah, good idea. All right. Ciao for now.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye.